Hi, I'm Ben Stanhope,
And I'm Zachary Leewald.
and welcome to the Movie Vault. Today we are reviewing the 2018 thriller mystery movie Searching
In Zach's Top 25.
in Zach's Top 25. So we'll make a playlist on YouTube. We'll call it Zach's Top 25 Collection, and this will be the first one and the only one so far.
On YouTube.
Yes, assuming that this video gets
Can you
out.
make Amazon Prime playlists?
Maybe
Did you know
I
that
don't really
Spotify has shared albums now?
they do. Wait, really?
Yes.
Oh, that'd be sweet. I need to
Okay.
get on that.
Anyway, I'll just say my tag. I don't know what you're going to do. This is a movie that when you try to look up this movie, you're searching for the movie Searching.
Yes, and it's difficult because they are like searching. Oh, that's what you're doing. Why are you being redundant? And then you have to like clarify searching movie.
And you might think that's
and then
stupid.
like, well, you are searching a movie. Like you like it doesn't understand the nuance of your search and it gets all complicated.
Yeah,
We
don't
barely
ask
found
Alexa.
this.
Don't ask Alexa. But the thing is, he says that, but that's actually probably how our conversations went before this. I can't remember. It's a little
Hazy.
not in a bad way.
Not
Don't-
in a
not in a bad way,
Yeah.
everyone.
Anyway,
We're just tired.
this movie was directed by Anish Chaganty. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that name. Released in the year 2018, grossed 800. No wait, I put grossed in budget in the wrong order. It had a budget of $880,000, and it grossed $75.5 million. So it almost grossed it almost started from zero and grossed it basically grossed like everything.
That's insane.
Almost did as good as like any bigger budget movie. I mean,
Like Avengers Endgame, it almost beat it.
yeah. I mean, maybe not that close, but
If you multiplied it by 10 and then multiplied it
that
by
was probably
4.
what, a 300 and something $million budget, and they made like $1 billion something.
No, they made like 2.7 billion or 2.8
So they made
billion.
a lot more than this.
Yeah.
But they did start with a much higher budget.
Here's the thing, actually, I just learned the other day. This is way off topic, but Avengers, like Marvel makes a lot of its money, if not like half of its money from China, right? But China has restrictions. So when they air a Marvel movie in China, they have to change things based on China's laws. So like
That's not surprising,
They
yeah.
have to add in scenes where like they're eating these certain Chinese chips, or they have to add in scenes where like or they have
That's
to
so
take
weird.
out they have to take out scenes that involve like ghosts or some powers used in specific ways they have to take out. And specifically with like WandaVision, I'm not going to spoil anything, but there's some mystical powers used and everything. And so when they're sending it to China and everything, they're like they have to like change it. And it's just it really makes me wonder, like, is their MCU like different from ours? Is it better? Like I want to see these ones.
Like, oh, that would be so cool.
Two different versions of the MCU.
Will you review like the Chinese MCU?
Yeah.
Like,
Although
oh,
I
that'd
think the
be sweet.
nuances and the differences are actually pretty subtle.
So it wouldn't be like, it would only subtly change. It's would
they
like
they
would
probably
there
just
be like
replace-
big philosophical differences because like the Chinese government has different like they're obviously trying to influence the art in their cultures to like align with like whatever their philosophy is. So then like if that doesn't align with like the American centric philosophy of Marvel.
Well, I'm glad we're in a
Right.
free country right now because I'm just gonna say they're probably gonna make people eat those chips to like keep them mind controlled. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So like, and instead of putting Audi as an American free economy,
And then everyone's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go buy an Audi." Not really, because most people don't have enough money.
yeah,
to do
instead
that,
they put in like
or like Surface Pro.
a vacuum cleaner,
Yeah,
a Chinese vacuum cleaner.
maybe that we should put in like something that will be like, "Oh, look, there's a person cleaning up litter in the street." That way, people will go out and actually like do some of that stuff.
Isn't that called like commercials? You know those e-vape commercials?
Oh yeah, I think they do that in movies though. Like I think big movies they do try to do things that will like kind of influence people.
Yeah.
Like, but it's not like a forced influence. It's just like subtle.
Yeah, like subliminal messaging. Like in
Yeah.
a movie when you're watching something and it flashes a hot dog, so you go to the concessions and get a hot
I
dog.
think that's illegal though.
Yeah, now it is.
Yeah, but it didn't used to be.
Yep.
I'm sure they used to do
It's
all
a
the
real
time.
thing. Look it up. It's actually real.
Yeah.
As far as I know, because I wasn't born.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, John Cho.
John Cho. Oh yeah, and this movie got 92% on Rotten Tomatoes, so pretty good. John Cho is in this movie too.
I love John Cho.
does
I'm
pretty
sorry,
good
I'm
job.
not a Star Trek fan. I'm more of a Star Wars fan. Please, nobody
I feel
hurt
like
me.
I swear I've seen this guy in other things, and this is one of my biggest things. I'm like such a connection. It like makes me so happy when I like recognize somebody. It gives me a sense of satisfaction, even
It's
though
OCD.
like it's not really that like impressive to be able to be like, oh, I know that guy from that other movie I watched, because like people are in a lot of movies, but Yeah, he was in Star Trek, Star Trek Beyond. He was in Harold and Kumar, that series. Remember, I've never watched it, but I know it's a thing. Like Harold and Kumar go to White Castle. Sounds like a movie we should review.
Could they go to White Castle?
That's what the movie's called. Harold and Kumar go to White
Out
Castle.
of any of the restaurants?
Yes. I think that's
Oh.
the first one. There might be a second. Maybe there's not a second one.
So
I
the
don't
first
know.
one, what do they go to? Burger King? And then Dairy Queen, so it's a whole kingdom?
I don't know. He's in American Pie 2 as well. So that's the thing.
Is he in
He's
the,
not. I don't think he's. I don't think he's a main character. I don't think he's the main character. But
What
he's
is he, like the White Castle
No, he is.
cashier?
He is. He's Harold Lee. Yeah. So he's Harold in Harold and Kumar. So
Huh.
that's cool. I think there's another one, but I forget what it's called. Can't.
That
find it.
looks interesting. It's just a White Castle slider,
I think it's on.
and their
Hu-
heads are behind
I think it's
it.
on Hulu. So-
Hulu has the weirdest movies.
Yeah, they have like that one, like the guy who killed Bigfoot and Hitler or whatever.
Oh,
Like,
Ben, we gotta watch a movie called Ma.
Ma.
M-A. It's like a horror movie / comedy / drama.
We should watch Mother by the same guy.
Scarlett
who did-
Johansson.
The same guy who did Parasite. Well, there's a different one
Is that
called Mother.
Scarlett Johansson? Or no?
There's one maybe with Scarlett Johansson, but I feel like the one I'm thinking of is.
Is it Mother
the
with
Bong
an
Joon-ho.
exclamation mark or no?
No, it's the one without it.
Okay, okay.
But that one we might need to watch too, because I feel like that's another by a guy I also have watched. Who directed that? We're really getting sidetracked here.
Ben making more connections.
Yeah, we're showing you our film knowledge. Oh, this is Darren Aronofsky,
Oh yeah, I know him.
who did Black Swan and Pi and The Fountain. And
He did Pi, guys.
Pi, like the P-I.
Like he
Like the
discovered
square.
3.14.
I think he's like, I think he's considered.
9799323.
Look, we got a Smarty Pants over here. Smarty Pants alert.
You can check me. I'm probably not right.
Okay, Botch Watcher Top Notch.
Okay, this for me. It's in my top 25. I gotta say top notch. I'm sorry.
I would tend to agree that it's top notch, but I think I want to phrase that by saying if you're into like filmmaking and like how people make films and like people like pushing the boundaries of what you can do with film, this is a must see, because as far as I know, this is the first movie that did anything like what it is.
At least popularized and on a big budget.
Yeah, I can't imagine it's probably the first one, and I imagine that even if it was the first feature-length film, that there were several like short films.
Like a Sundance Film Festival or something.
Well, I mean, I imagine this was at Sundance. Probably.
Was it?
I mean, it seems like something that would be at Sundance.
I think
or like Cannes or whatever.
It didn't. I don't think it's at Sundance in
Cannes.
the beginning, but I wouldn't be surprised. You're right.
Yeah. Searching film. Well, that's not gonna come up.
Now that I just noticed, everybody's seeing that I'm not wearing shoes. I'm wearing my office socks. For the YouTube
nice.
videos, it's Beats.
Like
Like Dwight.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
Dwight.
Dwight.
Yep.
Dwight the Rock Johnson.
That was. All right, let's keep going. We're gonna go.
Okay. Plot. So we have been referencing this like weird way that this movie is made, and it's all based around screens. So everything that is shown to you on your television screen or whatever you're viewing this on is like a computer screen or a phone. It's mostly computer screens. Occasionally flips to like a television news segment, but I think it's all on computers. Wait. Hello.
It's a screen.
Oh, I get it. I was confused on what he was doing. But yeah, so basically the sum of it is that there's this guy who he has a daughter and they are growing up together, and basically they rip off.
They grow up
They
together.
grow up together. He has a daughter and a wife. I'm sorry. And basically the first like 10 minutes rips off Up. And-
Yeah, she gets cancer.
and she gets cancer, and it tears your heart apart that
It actually
she
does.
dies.
But the thing is, it starts off with like, it's a Windows computer, right?
Windows XP, yeah.
Yeah, and
Throwback.
it's like they're just starting an account. Like they just had this kid, and then like it shows the kid growing up through photos and videos on the computer
right.
screen. It's all takes place from a computer screen or a phone or YouTube or video message or anything like that. There are no other, like the only characters you see are through FaceTime or through Skype or through phone calls or YouTube videos or something like that. Or
Yeah.
what was the My Chat or something, like live chat something?
Yeah, there was like a live streaming website before, like they had live streaming ability on like Instagram and stuff like that.
But the ability for them to do this story based on that premise was insane.
yes,
Like stuff that we noticed. So like we are so prone to technology these days, you know? Like we are just like, we get anxiety when our phone isn't in our pocket, you know?
Right. We need to check it every couple minutes just to make sure like it's still like working. Or
so there
whatever.
are subtle technological nuances that we sometimes take for granted, you know?
Yeah.
But then when we're watching this movie, we'll notice a certain profile picture or a certain email that seems a little off, and then we'll connect the dots and be like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And that's how this movie is on like 6 different levels.
Yeah. And this movie does like put things that are seemingly unrelated to the plot that are very important later, that are completely like just random. You think they're random
In a Breaking Bad-esque style.
and they're actually really important to set up the characters so that the whole setup is believable.
And let me add, this movie was very unsettling very unsettling in many different parts.
Yeah, and it also led you in a direction to believe that things were happening were worse than what actually happened. Even though what really happened ended up being bad.
Yeah.
But it took you down a few paths that were even darker than the movie ended up going.
You think that you figure out the movie 3 different times, and then it
Yes.
throws 3 different twists.
The way you have to watch this movie is by knowing that you're there. You got to just assume that the direction that they're leaving you on first is wrong.
Which is what Ben did.
Yeah.
Ben's like, this seems really right now, but I'm just going to say this isn't happening.
Yeah. Although it's fun to do. This is a good movie to like commentate during.
Yeah.
Because everyone's just there's so much tension.
They're like, oh, like
'Cause
everybody's
we were watching
reaction.
there was like 4 of us watching this, or 5.
5.
And then, and we were all just like yelling at the screen like the whole movie because like we were like frustrated by decisions the characters made because we would like notice something on the screen that they didn't notice right away, or they'd be like not answering their calls. John Cho's character would not be answering his calls.
His name was David, I think.
David Kim, I think.
And on top of that, it was super realistic.
Yes.
Like every
well,
single little thing.
I think that the ending with where it leads with the detective is slightly
Unrealistic.
but that's makes
big
for
twist.
The big twist is good, and I think we're not spoiling this movie, correct? Are we gonna not?
I think
spoil
we
it?
should spoil it.
Okay, this has been our spoiler-free section.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I need to talk about this.
If you would like to skip ahead, I will try to remember to put the timestamp in that we stop talking about the plot. Although we probably start talking about it in the ratings.
Yeah. Anyway.
So, but if you this is all a teaser to say that if this is not a movie that everyone has seen. So, if you really want the best experience watching this movie, don't listen to this podcast before you've seen the movie. Because I know there's some people who probably just listen to our podcast.
No, don't even watch
the
the
like
trailer.
listening to us, obviously.
The intrigue in this movie starts out great, and then it just keeps going because it even goes through like when you forget your password, and then it redirects you to another email, and you forget.
And you
that
have to like go down
password.
this whole trail of like
It does
resetting
that.
passwords.
It does that just to like find out where his daughter is and everything, you know. So okay, so plot obviously. So this guy starts out, his daughter's missing. His daughter's all of a sudden missing. Like
She was supposedly at a study group, and she's gone.
and her mom had recently passed away like 2 years before or something like that, and she was really into piano, and her mom would give her piano lessons, and then his daughter disappears at a study night, and he calls all of her friends. Eventually nobody knows where she is, and so she calls the cops.
Well, she also doesn't really have friends at school, is what they found out.
So yeah, he calls all the friends, makes a list. Everybody says that they didn't really know her that well, and like that she wasn't really close with anyone. She sat by herself at lunch, and there were pictures of it like all through the phone and everything. Like he's calling these people, and it's showing like hearing their phone calls. And then this detective gets put on the case, and her name's Vix, right? Detective Vix.
Vic.
And she has a son, so she can relate personally with David.
Right. He did something like he went door to door and tried to ask for charity money for a fake organization
Called the Moms and Dads in Blue.
And she didn't think that her son would do that, so she was trying to relate it to his situation where he might think he knows his daughter, but she might be capable of doing things that he's not aware of.
So they don't. So she starts to think that maybe she ran away because she has this outgoing $2,500 purchase on Venmo. She transferred money to someone,
and supposedly she transferred it to herself on a different account.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like she's trying to use this money to get away, transfer it to a different bank, take that money out, have some money, so that when you run away, you're not just like begging for money wherever you get to where you want.
So then her dad goes through all the trails of passwords, finds her social media, finds the secret account, and the secret account has videos that show her emotions, and she's like on this
Right.
live video chat room, and people can comment on her.
And there's not a lot of people that are commenting on her, although it was weird because there's like people, there was like 3 or 4, maybe like 2 views per video, but there would be like different people. But there was this one person,
Fish and chips.
Fish and Chips, who was always seemed to always be commenting and know a lot about her life.
And as he
get
goes
really involved.
as he goes through the videos, Fish and Chips goes on and says like hi with no profile picture, and then eventually he goes like in the next couple of videos, the dad's going through all her videos like in order, and Fish and Chips all of a sudden has a profile picture. And
Yeah.
it's this girl with red hair, and so then they don't think anything of it. The detective calls someone in Pittsburgh to like confirm if she's real, and she's real. Whatever, finds out that it's not. It's just a dead end. But then the dad goes to the place where she hangs out in her videos at this lake area and finds her Pokemon keychain, and which is kind of funny, but like her
Yeah.
Pokemon keychain, and then she's like, she did not run away.
And
Something
they
happened,
find the car in the lake, her car.
and
but
she's not in there.
She's not in the car, so they don't know whether she's dead or not.
And there's
but they know
blood
the car.
on the front seat, and there is $2,500 in the front compartment. So that's just like, those are the facts that kind of went along with it. And so they're like, yeah, something definitely happened. So then they go on all these different rabbit trails. They find like a fake ID that she made. They go through like all the psychology behind it. He ends up blaming his brother.
For being involved in an inappropriate relationship with her that he thinks is far worse than it is. It ends up that he is just providing her marijuana and they're smoking and having conversations
But
together.
those
But
parts make my heart drop.
It led the viewer to believe it was going to be much, much worse than that. And you're like sort of relieved when it's not.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's only marijuana, which is still
But
bad.
then there's
but it
twists after that too.
Yeah.
So then he keeps going searching. Like, you can't trust the brother anymore. The brother has this whole time he was hiding that.
Yeah, and finally, somebody confesses to murdering, and murdering her,
And kills himself on camera.
and kills himself on camera, and
It's this really
no, he doesn't
old-
kill himself on camera, but he's found dead at his house. When
and
they
he's older, and he's creepy. He's very creepy.
yeah,
So then, case closed. They do a funeral for her. She's presumed dead, right?
right.
So then the dad says something doesn't seem right. Okay, this isn't
Mm-hmm.
fitting. Wait, why did he not think it was fitting? That's like the one part I didn't get.
He just didn't think that it made sense that the guy would just confess like he did. Like it seemed too like convenient.
So then
Because he
goes,
was like, typically in those cases, I don't think you would expect somebody to like make a confessional video.
But also, I think I remember, he goes on his email and someone says, I'm getting chills right now. We just heard about your daughter dying. Thank you for confirming with us that you're choosing our virtual service for her memorial. And he never signed up for that.
yeah,
So then someone out there knows that like she died and that he signed up for this. And then he looks at the stock photo in the profile
of
and
like
it's
the advertisement.
and it's the girl with the red hair.
Yes. So then
Oh, shoot.
he realizes, he's like, wait, and then he does an image search and realizes that this person had been a stock photo the whole time.
So then he calls the real person. She says she's never heard of a detective calling her. So then she goes back and looks at the guy that killed himself, that supposedly killed his daughter, and looks at a picture of the detective, and in the background photo of the detective that's been working on this case the whole time, in the background is the guy that killed himself.
Yeah, she had worked with ex-convicts to do some sort of rehab or something, and he was one of them, and he was the guy that presumably she's ended up getting to confess, and then even worse thing happened. So
She confesses.
The best scene in the movie is when he walks into the funeral and you think he's gonna confront her, and he's just staring at her, and the cops come in, and you're like, what's happening? And then you find out that they arrested her. Although they have to like put a little buffering in to even keep you more at the edge of your seat. I found that to probably be the best like shot and scene in the movie.
So when you think that's the highest part, like obviously that's probably the climax, but there's another twist after that. So then they're like, okay, now what? So then they're like,
well, because it's like, why did she try to cover it up? Like, what was her motive?
so then she confesses that her son was the one that was Fish and Chips. And
Yeah.
her son was messaging her, he liked her, and pretended just to talk to her. He pretended that his mom was sick too, to like relate to her. So then his daughter was so nice, and she sent him $25 over Venmo.
$2,500.
What did I say?
He said $25. So nice of him to say $25 for hospital.
That's still nice.
bills.
That's still nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so he's pushed her, and he called his mom. His mom tries to cover it up, puts her car in the lake. tries to make sure everything doesn't look like it's her son, cancels his Venmo account, and then apparently he pushed her off a cliff. And they're like, yeah, and then the detective says, yeah, she's dead anyway, like I didn't even check. And she says, would have had to survive without water for 5 days. But then the dad, it shows like the chase, like the dad's finding out, and it shows his car, and then it just shows the car turn around, and then she says, but then he told me something strange. She's like, it stormed. She said that she had to be out there for 5 days without water, but it stormed on Monday. So then she would have only had to be out there for 2 days.
Right.
So then they went down, they find her, and she's alive.
Yes.
And it was, you just don't, like, twist 1 happens like a third through the movie, twist 2 happens like halfway through the movie, then twists 3 through 5 are like right at the end, like last 20 minutes, and you're just like, oh my gosh.
Right.
The writing in this movie is so complex, especially with the way they present it on the screens.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes, just little things like when they presented the marijuana or told the story about the kid, how he was like somewhat dishonest, and those things like play a big factor into the end of the movie.
But they also play a factor because those could have been there and still been useful without the extra plot devices. Like they could have been there as useful, like of relationship, because like the marijuana showed how him and his brother are like
there's like
in a
tension there because he doesn't think that he
so it could have just been
that.
used as a relationship aspect, but they also use it for the plot later.
Right. So. I like the Breaking Bad comparison. Like, I feel like it could have had something to do with the inspiration of the writing, but then Breaking Bad could probably be used for the inspiration of a lot of things.
I got chills talking about those 3 different twists.
No, yeah, this movie is very technically impressive, and
just the different ways that they do it: emails, phone calls. There's a Mac. They go on a Mac, like they go on old calendars, Facebook, Twitter.
Yeah. Use a lot of like old Windows stuff.
Yeah.
And just it's very clever. Although I'll save this for plot holes. There's one part of the movie that I think might be a little bit of a stretch, but I'll leave that as a.
I think I know what it is, but let's just wait.
You gotta remember that I actually bring it up later, because sometimes I'm like, we should talk about this later, and then we never talk about it.
That's true.
Which might mean that it's really not that important, and it's just my way of being like, oh, this isn't important now. Maybe we'll think about it later. But
and that we just spent like 20 minutes talking about it.
Yeah. So not everyone liked this movie, but most people did on Rotten Tomatoes, like 92% of them. But not CJ Shu. He was not happy.
I'm telling you, every rater has 2 letters for a first name. I have a friend named CJ, and I love CJ. But when it's talking about movie reviewers, they're always 2 letters.
Yeah, the ones who are the hardest critics always have 2 letters. Like if I was gonna be
Scott.
if I was gonna be a film critic, like I'm not really a film critic. I'm just a film fan who does a podcast.
Film fan.
A film fanatic. Not really. Oh jeez.
He couldn't even say it.
I don't even think I've watched enough movies to be considered a fanatic. So I don't know what I am.
He's already. We're like a month into the year, and he's seen like 35 movies.
It's a scene. But that's only this year. I like to think of myself as a self-proclaimed expert, which means that I'm not really an expert. I just like.
Everyone's a self-proclaimed expert.
I know. I'm just admitting it. See, I like most people who have podcasts aren't experts on the.
But does admitting it make you smarter, or more? Expertise?
It makes you more self-aware, and you can take with that what you will.
Yes. So let's proclaim him as an expert.
Yeah. Because you could mock me and be like, oh, Ben Stanhope, he started a movie podcast. He doesn't know anything about movies. Well, now I just admitted to that. So now all your power's gone. Now, what are you going to criticize me?
You have no power over us. In fact, we have power over you.
Yeah, because you're watching this somehow.
Or listening.
Anyway, back to CJ Shu.
Or tasting.
He says he also writes for a publication. I'm not sure whether it's a website or a publication. It's called Review Film Review. Sounds fake, but apparently he's Rotten Tomatoes certified. Just him, not the publication. And he says, the film can therefore be said to have opened up a new dimension of filmmaking aesthetics. I just wish the other elements weren't so old school. So I think what he's saying is he wasn't as impressed with the plot twists and the way that the plot was constructed as much as he was impressed with how they like set up the technical aspects of the like computer screens and things. Which I can't say that I've watched many. I have 3 times I'm allowed to bring this up. So this is number 1. The movie that I think of when I watch this movie is Gone Girl, which Zach hasn't watched, so I can't really say that much about it. But if you watch Gone Girl, you know it's like sort of like a mystery that has like a big twist, and then it has like a surprising ending. It's also a book. I've never read the book though. And so that I think like that movie only came out a couple years before this one, but there's probably other movies that have like aspects of like plot twists and things that this movie has that I haven't seen that have came out before this. But I thought it was pretty clever, personally.
Anyway, if anyone out there drives their car into a lake and needs help or something, then you should get car insurance from
Hedman Anglin Agency. Do you get State Farm? Seriously? We're living in the 21st century and you're still getting mainstream, lamestream insurance. You need to go somewhere local. Somewhere who will some place where people will care about you. Where you're not just a number on a page
You're special.
for a large corporation. Even though I know that State Farm works like where they like contract out smart, but that doesn't matter. What I'm saying is you need to contact Hedman Anglin Agency because they will care for you.
I was just
and they
about
will
to say the
save
word
you
care.
money.
That means it's true.
Yes. This insurance company, that you will deal with people who actually care about whether you save money. They'll actually try to get you the best deal
Care.
on auto and home and business insurance. And they definitely would like to hear from us because they would like to know that this mic is being used for good purposes for them.
Wow.
So, oh yeah. So
Call
if you
now.
are interested at all, call 614-486-7300. That's 614-486-7300. And if you do contact them, make sure to tell them that Ben and Zach sent you.
Yeah, we did just now go.
Go. And you can say, well, Geico says 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
They
But
can't.
What if you spent a little bit more time talking to Hedman Anglin and they saved you even more than that? I'm not promising that, but I'm saying it could happen.
More likely, actually. Like, I would
More
probably
likely.
bet a lot more on that.
Like, yeah. And they can compare rates from multiple different places, so you can always know you're getting the best deal.
What we're saying is don't be mainstream, okay? Don't make Inception your favorite movie.
Yeah, don't make The Dark Knight your favorite movie.
I'm sorry.
Be a Memento person, like Memento.
Or any other movie.
Don't make Avengers Infinity War your favorite movie.
Shut up.
Okay, fine. Maybe that hit a little too close
You
to
hit a
home.
nerve there. Don't make Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs your favorite movie.
You should try to watch some obscure foreign film and make that your favorite movie. But even that, I feel like I'm the fakest non-mainstream person. Like, I'm like, oh, I listen to all this cool music, which I do listen to some obscure artists, but my top artist on Spotify is still
Taylor
like,
Swift.
well, she's my fourth. Who is my top? The 1975. That's not exactly, like
Chocolate.
obscure. Oh, you bought hands like chocolate. That's like such a good song. It's always in my top 100 on Spotify every year, somehow, because it's just so vibey. And anyway, we could talk about. Okay, oh man, the 1975's last album that they came out with last year,
So judgy.
Notes on a Conditional Form, is so bad. Oh my goodness.
Get off your high horse.
No, seriously, they need to get off their high horse.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yes, because they sound so
Preachy.
like, preachy on the album, and like before they were just a band that sang about like smoking marijuana, and now all of a sudden they're like, oh, we're gonna solve all the world's problems. Like, I just
By
don't get
smoking
the
marijuana?
No, well, I guess they don't smoke marijuana anymore. I don't know, because that's what Chocolate's about, and now they're trying to make songs about like, I don't even know, like it's like, oh wow, like it's like technology like changes people, and
So
like,
now they're in the 80s.
like, yeah, and like, whoa, that's so cool. Like, nobody ever thought about that. Now I'm gonna make this 4-minute interlude that has nothing to do with the rest of the album. And
that's
have,
what
like,
Coldplay did, though.
yeah, Coldplay album also was terrible.
Okay, I kind of liked it.
Okay, fine.
But they had a lot of weird interludes.
Yeah, the thing is, weird interludes are just pretentious. Like,
Because
if they don't
nobody-
add anything, like, and I think, like, I didn't
They're
really,
just so subjective in meaning.
I didn't really like Coldplay's album, but like I really didn't like the 1975's album because it really felt overdone. Like, and like they were trying so hard to be like deep that like they were accomplishing the opposite effect of it. Like, I was just like, this is like so shallow because they're trying so hard.
The 1975, more like the 19... Why Stay Alive? I
Well,
don't know.
I don't know. But no, it's not as good as OK Computer. So don't make that comparison. That was their album before that.
All right, we should get to our rating system.
Yeah. Anyway, that was just a little rant for you guys.
Let's start with Our rating system. Sentiment.
Yeah, I gave it an 8.
Hold on. I need to check my
So
thing. I gave it a 9.
Top 25, gotta be a 9. Makes sense.
I was about to give it a 10, but I was like, there are better movies out there that deserve a 10, but this is like almost there.
How many movies do you think you would give a 10 to?
Probably like 8.
Okay. I feel like, I don't know exactly what my number would be, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
How about Message?
Message. I give it an 8.
I gave it a 7.
Yeah, I think it's solid. I just think like the message overall is like you should communicate.
The message is more really subtle because it doesn't focus on it a lot. It more focuses on like the consequences of his actions.
Yeah, so like it's all like a murder plot, right, or whatever plot.
Yeah.
It's like is she dead? Is she not? So it's like
plot,
it's
yeah.
like investigation discovery. But the reasons that everything played out, he finds and he learns is because he didn't communicate with his daughter,
Right.
and he didn't communicate with his brother.
His way of dealing with his loss did not help his daughter. Like he was very much I'm moving on in my head, and she needed to talk through it. But he didn't want to talk through it. He just wanted to let time heal the wounds. But
The thing
what
is-
he found out is that time can't heal the wounds.
That's also a big theme in WandaVision. I'm sorry, I just can't get that out of my head. Look, my background is literally Baby Vision. Okay? Okay, anyway.
Plot.
Plot. I gave plot an 8.
I gave plot a 7.
Yeah, so you're just one below me every time. I think the plot was... It just blew my mind. I gave it an 8, like, because obviously there are some plot holes or whatever. But it just, like... It really took me on a joyride. It felt like I was on a roller coaster, like the dragster, except the dragster's one hill. I felt like I was on the Millennium Force, and Ben has stuff to say about that. You can listen to our previous podcast on roller coasters.
You can.
Outside
It's a
the
good one.
vault.
Although it's a little hard to follow because there's so many people talking, but
There's just a lot of opinions, you know?
yeah,
And they matter. Every opinion in the world matters.
maybe.
No, it doesn't.
I doubt that's true.
No, it's not. But that's just my opinion. So who cares?
I don't think Zach's opinion matters.
But I don't care what you think about that, so why do I care?
That's true.
Isn't this just how our world talks now?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
like, well, whoever can shout louder wins. That's how it works.
Yeah. Yeah?
And has more power leverage.
Yeah. Like, why doesn't my opinion matter more than, Vladimir Putin's?
I don't know, maybe because he's the president of the largest country by area.
Well, I can balance 2 cups on my head, stacked on top
I
of
bet
each
he
other.
can't do that.
Yeah, but he can ride a horse shirtless. I can do that, just not looking
That's
good.
true. Yeah, he looks ripped. I think number 2 time mentioning Gone Girl. I think that was the only reason I put it down to 7 because I could see how it was influenced by other things.
Isn't that more originality?
Oh, you're right. It is. Anyway, maybe I just saw the plot holes. I don't know. I don't know why I gave it a 7 because you're right. Now I can only bring up the movie that shall be unnamed one more times, and I have to do it during originality, which I actually never mind. We'll get to that. Character arcs.
I gave character arcs, this is actually my lowest, a 6.
I gave him a 7.
I think it was mediocre. No, I don't want to say mediocre. I think it was good.
It was only good. Well, I wouldn't say it's only good. I'd say the detective's character arc was a little weak because they needed it to be weak for the surprise, but it doesn't change the fact that her character arc changed drastically all of the sudden.
Because she was
And it
learning
was-
how to cope with that loss for him,
And
too.
I still feel like it wasn't real obvious, but like it should have been. Like, when they make things obvious and you look back and you're like, oh, I should have seen that coming. I don't think that you should have seen it coming. Like, they made her so... But I just have a hard time believing she could act that well and pull off those many things.
Well, for her son.
Yeah, I guess you're right. There was a lot of high pressure for her to do it. But we'll get into the plot holes of the reasoning of why she did that. That didn't really make a lot of sense in my opinion.
Also, I liked David's storyline. I thought it was
he had
good.
a good...
And the daughters, it's just like there aren't a lot of characters in the movie. His wife is dead. I mean, there's only like
and you
5
don't really
characters.
get to see her, so it's hard to say that you get a good grasp.
Yeah, so
I
the
guess
daughter
you see
doesn't
her
have a
through her
story.
videos, so those are subtle character arcs.
Yeah,
But it's more like that more influences his character arc
but
than it is her character
The thing is,
arc.
only one person really had a character arc in this movie.
Yes.
Because there's only 4. Like, there's the detective, there's the son, there's the daughter,
The brother.
the brother,
And the son barely has a character arc. 'cause he's barely
and David. So it's just David that has a character arc. The brother
And that
doesn't
one,
really have
that
one.
one pimp guy who breaks his jaw.
Oh yeah.
Who I don't exactly know.
But
how-
he doesn't have a character arc either.
I honestly don't know. You remember he said something about how he was her pimp or something? Was that just completely fake?
Yeah, she probably threw him off.
Yeah, I think that was probably fake.
Yeah. But then why would he tweet that thing?
Because because he's a creep. I'm pretty sure based on his like interaction with her on social media, I'm pretty sure he was like, he was being creepy, and so he just posted something like really insensitive.
No, that makes sense. I
It was
forgot about
completely
his
fit in
comments.
with what he was set up to be with his personality.
His Visco comments.
And I think he
or
was
whatever.
only 17 too, so like he's probably like talking big, not actually.
I did that.
big. Let's
Still
see.
do.
Cinematography. Yes.
I gave cinematography a 7.
I give cinematography. Wait, is this right?
What'd you put?
I put a 9, but like
I mean, I could understand.
I guess I'm looking at it as. No, actually, I will.
There he goes.
I will go with this because
keep going.
I don't exactly know what my thought process was when I wrote the number, but now I'm thinking I think about those shots, and there were honestly moments in this movie where I was like, that shot sold the movie. Like
You're talking about in the church.
Like the church scene, even the scene where he's confronting the brother, like
Oh,
the
yeah.
way they set up the scenes builds the suspense.
Because it's all from cameras.
And they're not
Just camera
high quality cameras all the time, although they're probably higher quality than they would actually be if they were real webcams.
But you get the realisticness of it.
yes,
Like, you get the situation and what's going on. So I think that adds to it. So I think the camera angles and the camera, like, quality all adds to the scenes. And so I think I get the cinematography aspect. I just looked at it straight from, like, it was all the same, kind of. Like,
yeah,
it was all screens.
I guess you're right. Yeah.
So
Originality.
I gave... So here's the thing. I was about to give it a 10, but I gave it a 9.
Well, I give it a 10.
Yeah, so I saw that on your screen. So I want to just say, like, I think this is one of the most original movies I've seen.
So what would be more original than this, though? This is my question.
I don't know.
Like, I'm saying the plot is similar to Gone Girl, but, like, the movie itself, when you actually watch it, is not similar to Gone Girl.
Yeah, so the only reason I didn't put a 10 is because, by the way, that was your last time you can mention Gone Girl.
Okay.
The movie itself, like, the screen part is so original, but the other storyline isn't. And the twists are actually sort of original, you know?
Yeah,
But-
I think this shows how much more of a style over substance person I am. I am like, if a movie has good style, which is weird because I didn't give style a 10, but spoiler alert. But like that sort of like trumps any sort of like flaw in the plot because I'm like, this is interesting to watch, so that's all I care about. So maybe that is a little bit shows in my rankings sometimes,
Yeah.
ratings of things. But like that's just sort of my perspective that I come from when I'm watching movies, and I can't. My biases can't be completely erased from our like really objective system that we have going here. But we're supposed to like. That's why our average scores are the real scores because we're supposed to like cancel each other out.
Yeah, somehow by adding some statistics, we make it objective over subjective.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. T-test. Okay.
All right, acting.
Acting. I gave it a 7.
I gave it a 7 too.
I think it was solid.
Solid all around.
I mean, it's just there's not many actors. I thought.
Yeah, I mean, I also feel like this is not the most difficult.
There's
Some-
no layers. I'm
like
going to bring
there-
it up again. This is the third time I'm going to bring it up, so this is my last time too. But WandaVision.
Yeah.
Okay.
WandaVision and Gone Girl.
Wanda Maximoff, played by Elizabeth Olsen. There is like I counted 7 different layers that she has to act under. Okay, so like she's playing someone who's acting like this, who's in a sitcom, who's acting like this, who has to also pretend to be this person, and like it's just so. Anyway,
Yeah, that's difficult to pull off.
whereas in this it's like straightforward.
There's one layer, and John Cho is good, but since he's good, he makes it look effortless, and you know that's pretty much all you could ask. Everyone else is like decent, but like I mean, like they're not spectacular, and they're not like. I don't go to this movie like the acting is what, like is like pulling me in. Like something like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I'm like the acting like really sells. This is also the last time I'm allowed to mention Once Upon a Time in Hollywood on this episode, or like
First and
there's
last.
there's some movies that the acting is why you go like JD and Heathers, or like you know I'm saying that to annoy Emma because she doesn't like the way he talks. But
we
I
love
do.
to annoy Emma. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry Emma, because I know she'll listen to this and I know she'll text me after and she'll be like,
avid listener, thank you.
yes. Also my girlfriend.
Actually, I should
have to-
expect it. It's your girlfriend. I
Yeah.
should expect that, honestly. So
Yeah.
if you don't listen, then
No, but like I wouldn't be offended if she didn't listen, but she does, and I appreciate that. So thank you, Emma.
Emma, if you're listening, say the
Or
word
watching.
pineapple to Ben next time you see him. Okay? Pineapple. Code word. Okay,
I-
next.
Style.
Style, I gave it a 7.
I gave it a 9.
Oh, wow.
So even out to an 8. Well, because I think about it the same way as the originality, where like the style of like everything is like more important than like some
Yeah.
of the flaws.
No, I thought it was good. It's just like, I did not get tired of the computer screens. Honestly, I didn't. I mean,
No,
I go
I
to
didn't.
Zoom University. Like, I'm on screens all
Yeah,
day,
true,
and I
true.
know that's overused by like adults.
I go to
Like,
Blackboard Collaborate University.
I go to Carmen Canvas Collaborate University too. So
You can tell which universities we go to based on the platform that not really.
yeah, adults probably can't. Kids
No.
under the age of
There's lots of
22
universities that
probably
use
could.
that use Blackboard and Canvas for sure.
Yeah.
Like several universities.
I go to Yale, and we
Yeah.
use Canvas.
And I go to
Harvard,
Harvard.
and
so,
they use Blackboard.
so we're rivals.
Yeah.
And we drive down. He lives in Massachusetts and I live in Harvard's in Massachusetts. Yale's in like Connecticut, right?
I don't know.
I
Yes,
think.
yes. And we're gonna wrestle.
We're gonna wrestle to see who wins. Go Big Red. Go Crimson.
Go Yale. Go Clemson. I mean, no, that's not good. I don't want to say Clemson. Anna's
I
gonna
think
kill me.
Yale are the Bulldogs, but I could be wrong about that. Correct me to all our Yale listeners out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and correct me.
We're not smart enough to have Yale friends.
No, we're not. We're not preppy enough.
Actually, well, the thing is, like, Yale's a specific. Like, isn't that for lawyers?
We don't watch the movies that they would watch at Yale. But what would they watch at Yale? Like, I
Probably
mean,
like
they would watch art.
Gone with the Wind.
Yeah, Gone with the Wind. No, they'd be like art films that everyone's like, wow, this is deep. But like, not Christopher Nolan, because that's like the film fans like, wow, Christopher Nolan's deep. Or like the average film fan.
Yeah.
Or like the average like Marvel or whatever, they'd be like, go to Christopher Nolan for like the smart plots. But then there'd be like the people who are like, oh, Christopher Nolan's good, would go to like another director for like smart movies.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just a whole nother thing. Basically, any sort of community that's built around like watching something or listening to something generally can become toxic because people start arguing that they're better than other people because they watch certain things, and other people aren't as good because they think something's deeper
But
than
Ben,
it really is.
I am better than you because I watch better movies.
Okay,
And that's just how it's gonna be.
I actually pretty sure that I watch better
Choreography.
movies. Oh wait, are we at? Do we do score yet?
Score.
I gave. Wait, why did I give? I gave score an 8.
I give it a 7. I thought the soundtrack to this was really good.
I actually did think it was good. So
Because like it got intense, and then the soundtrack would go like really intense. Like right when you're figuring something out, like you see an email or you see like a profile picture change, it's like it just gets really loud and like intense music plays, and it's like really intense. And it's the thing is like it's just a computer screen, but
Right.
there's super intense music playing in the background, and you are actually nervous and like shaking because like you're like, what is happening? Like, but then you like connect the dots and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
And then like the intense music plays like right. I think they timed the music correctly because right as you're like getting it, like they don't do it right as it shows it on the screen, you know.
right.
But like once it gives the audience enough time to get what's happening on the screen, it like plays the intense
It like
music.
gives you hints almost.
Yeah.
Like you can tell by the music that something, you can like start thinking in your head what this music is signaling that's to come, and I like that about it. Choreography,
Choreography, I gave it a 6.
I give it a 5 because like
It's just like, what is there?
What did they? What I mean, what would you even count as choreography?
Just him punching his brother
oh,
and
yeah,
punching the guy in the movie
That
theater
wasn't
line.
that good.
But like I don't
Although
wanna
I
rate
think it was
low.
realistic.
I just don't want to rate it low because like this was a good movie.
Yeah.
So
That's
what was
true.
your overall, Ben?
77.
Mine was a 74.
Wow, very close. Very
So we're at a
close.
75.5.
Something like that. So it's very stuck in the middle of our movies that are rated in the 70s.
Yeah.
One day when we have so many movies that are rated between like 70 and 79, because that's probably where a lot of our movies are going to end up, we'll have to do like
We should do like a
rank-
curve. We should do a
rank-
curve, like a
curve.
test, like a test curve.
Yeah. Or like we'll have an audience score to like rate them.
Although
like,
if we have
differentiate them.
one movie that gets in the 90s, that's gonna kill the curve.
Yeah. Because, well, the hard thing about rating movies is we rate a lot of movies that we watch the first time, for the first time. And, like, sometimes you need to, like, sit and, like, think about a movie.
This
'Cause
was the
there's been
second time I've seen this movie.
Yeah. But for me, it was the first time. And a lot of the movies I think we've done.
But I saw this in theaters in 2018, and I loved it, and I just
Yeah.
forgot about it. So rewatching it today was like I didn't remember anything. I didn't know that I forgot. I didn't know that the cop was the bad guy. Like I just forgot or something. It's been 3
Well,
years.
Yeah, that's true. You don't always remember those things in movies because, like, if you watch enough movies, you're not going to remember.
But now that like
everything
we're
that happens.
dissecting movies like pigs, I feel like we can like
Like
appreciate
pigs.
them more. You know.
We're like the pigs in Animal Farm.
Reference noted.
I mean, actually, we're
Once I
not.
watch that movie, I'm gonna remember
It's
that
not a
reference
movie.
and I'm gonna laugh.
It's a book.
I'm gonna laugh when I read that book.
It's by the same guy who wrote 1984, George Orwell. It's
Well,
a really
I'm-
good book about communism, but about a farm.
You should read Fahrenheit
451. I should
451.
actually.
Yeah.
I
Burning the
do
books.
want to read that. Yeah, we should burn books.
Yeah, for fun.
We'll do that on the podcast.
They actually did
sometime.
that. I think we talked about this in Jojo Rabbit because they were
Yes.
burning books.
They
in
were
that movie.
burning books in Jojo Rabbit. I'm pretty sure.
All right.
Okay, so now that we did that, Britta moments with Britta.
All right, Ben. Just tell me what you don't like. Break
Okay,
my
the
heart.
phone part.
Phone.
Okay, the website that they could just go up and he could just look up people.
Oh yeah, that was weird. Actually,
I don't think that's real. I don't think you can just go pay $50 and
You have
look up
someone's
any-
private information.
Yeah, because he was just finding like you can't go on a website and look up like a random stock model and just call them and then just be like, hey, what's up? Like it's not that easy. It can't be that easy. Like maybe if you're working for the government,
Maybe
it's
it
that
is. Just
easy.
nobody wants to pay $50.
Yeah, like I guess maybe we need to do some research. I'm assuming that's a plot hole to make the plot more easy to have made.
It's not real. Or it is real. What?
It's real? Dang it! I thought
Producer
I had.
just told us
I
it's
think-
real.
I thought I had a plot hole there.
That's
so-
creepy.
That's so disappointing.
How do they have everybody's
I think I want it to
numbers?
be a plot hole because I don't want people to be able to do that. Now you can just like, oh, I'm gonna pay $50 a month and figure out Ben Stanhope's number so that I can call him.
I can just give it to you for $5. Message me at blank 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 555 blank 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 blank.
Yeah, and then and then we'll like give you our Venmo and then you can DM us and then I'll block your number as soon as you.
And
text
but
me.
if you need my social, just message me privately.
Yeah, or just message the Movie Vault Pod at the Movie Vault Pod.
Or the movievaultpod at gmail.com.
Oh yeah, or the Movie Vault
That
Pod
was
at
really
gmail.com.
hard for me to think.
Or you could just email us at the movievaultpod at gmail.com and you can get a 50-50 shot of either me or Zach answering.
And you get 50% off your next Starbucks purchase.
That is not true, but it's
That was a
good
complete
thought.
lie.
We will always tell you 50% of the truth.
Yes. So we will. The 50% of the truth is the 50% that you have to pay. Okay.
Extra on top of the 50% that you get off.
Yes. So then you can pay for half of ours. Wait, that works.
That
Whoa.
works. Whoa.
Okay.
Yeah. When we have our if we get to a certain number of listeners, we should have a big listener party at the coffee.
We should
Vault.
give away a PS5
We should give away a PS5.
with our revenue.
Oh wait, PS5 with like us photoed on the side of the PS5.
A Movie Vault PS5.
That would be awesome. Wow. We call Sony like, hey, so we're thinking that you should give us a brand deal.
Travis Scott did it. Why can't we?
Yeah, like we're basically on the path to being the next Travis Scott.
We should have Travis Scott on the
We're
podcast.
gonna have like,
So,
dude, Travis
how do you
Scott.
get into sicko mode?
Let me tell you, sun is down, freezing cold, feeling like I'm already there. I don't even know the lyrics, but I'm here.
Where is the geographical location of
Of-
Astroworld?
Of Astroworld. Yeah.
How did you get into Fortnite?
Why do the wait? Is that his album, the Birds one?
I don't know.
Travis Scott Birds. Yeah. Why do the birds in the trap sing McKnight exactly? Because it's
Yeah.
one of his albums.
Yeah.
Like what are these birds? Why are they in a cage? And who is McKnight? And why do they sing him? I have a lot of questions for Travis Scott. So if we ever got him on the podcast, we would just interview him about those things.
Yeah, biggest question.
And he could pick whatever movie he wanted. Which
I also
want to
have We should reveal Marshmallow on the Movie Vault.
Reveal. Yes, Marshmallow. I'm looking you in the eye now.
It's me.
Shh, not right now.
Next week we can reveal it because it's me.
Whoa, I'm on the podcast and Marshmallow's here, but Zach's not. Zach couldn't be here tonight.
Yeah, I broke my leg.
Question: have you ever seen Zach and Marshmallow in the same room? Because I haven't.
Oh, stop! I was in the same room at Christmas. Remember?
Oh right. Wait, but like, I thought I saw Marshmallow. He was sort of standing but like I didn't see you next to Marshmallow. I saw Marshmallow. I was like went across the room, and then I sort of went back, and then I saw you, but like Marshmallow wasn't there anymore. So it was kind of confusing. I was like, so were you with Marshmallow or like, I don't know what's going on with that.
Okie dokie.
Okie dokie.
I don't have any Brita moments besides that.
I
Besides
feel
like
like
how
there was something
cheesy
else.
the reveal was.
Okay.
about
The detective. I don't think it's that realistic that detective would have tried this.
No, but it's good.
I think it was good for the movie that this is the direction they went in. But did the plan that the detective came up with actually make any sense?
She was doing it for her son, I guess.
She was doing it for her son. I think that if her son really had the problems that he thought he did, she could have tried to rescue him, called 911, tried to rescue her right then instead of waiting 5 days to rescue her.
Oh, we didn't say this. She actually killed the guy, the ex-convict that killed himself.
She murdered a guy. So she wasn't even dead.
Yeah,
First
so
of
the
all,
daughter wasn't dead, and she killed a guy for nothing.
And she killed a guy for nothing. So if she would have just called 911, got them to go down and rescue her, she could have argued that her son was mentally unstable and could not, and made a mistake, and they would have got him off. And she could have argued that he wouldn't do well in prison, but they could have done some like house arrest or something.
Possibly.
They could have worked something out.
But that's best case scenario too.
Yeah, but what she did was way worse.
Yeah,
they could
now
have still
if she got
sent
caught,
his son to jail.
You're right. She took a bigger risk than she needed to.
Right.
Like she was about to lose $15, so
What
she put $100
was
on the
risk
line.
her son and then also make it worse for herself.
Yeah, like she was about to lose a little bit, and then she put a lot more on the line. You know,
And she almost did get away with it, but then I think about like the guilt that would eat you up at your whole life. Would that really be worth it?
for her son, yes. But then she once her son,
But would it be worth it for her son? Because if her son realized how wrong
her son
it is,
would not grow like that. Her son would be the same little brat he was the whole movie.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, she kept saying her son doesn't understand these things, but we never really saw how the son acted, so I wasn't really sure what that meant.
I mean, the boys in blue, or the moms and dads in blue.
Yeah, I mean, I assumed it. I don't know what that meant. I don't know what sort of mental condition he's in, whether he had some sort of disability.
She said he's not like other boys. I'm not sure
but
what
like
that meant.
that's like I don't want to make any assumptions about what that means.
But finding out that he's fish and chips, we know he's at least really creepy.
Yeah, well, I would understand
and a
that
liar.
to mean that he has social
And a liar
disabilities.
leading someone on and taking their money.
But he understands that it was wrong to take the money because he didn't even want the money.
One, it was too late, and two, like he was already doing all those creepy things.
Yes. So I don't think that her risk was worth it in the end. I don't think it made
definitely
sense.
not. No.
I don't think any logical human would go down that path because it's so hard to think that you would get away with it.
We are not in motherhood yet. Okay.
That's true.
We will one day.
People do get really well. Hopefully not.
I'm joking. Okay, joke taken too far.
All right. So final conclusions about this movie.
I love it with a capital O.
I was searching for this movie my whole life. Finally found it. Now all I want to do is sing about it and dance about it and scream about it and shout about it. And all I want to do is rap about it.
Travis, please come on our podcast, please. I'm begging you, Travis Scott, please.
Because I know how to rhyme it with it.
Yeah.
So.
And a lot of rappers rhyme the same words anyway, so who cares?
She in love with who I am. Back in high school, I used to... That's a Travis Scott line, I think.
Back in high school?
No, that's actually Drake. Sorry. In the Travis Scott song.
I was just going to say, you really offended a lot of people.
Well, like back in high school.
You offended all 30 people.
That I said Travis Scott and it was actually a Drake line. Yeah, that's pretty bad of me. I would Drake. Do you want to come on the podcast too with Travis Scott?
No, this is Drake. This is Drake from the meme.
I would think it would be so amazing if Drake came down here to this studio
from Canada.
Because this is so humble, with his like 20 bodyguards or whatever. His whole entourage is just like.
No, I want to have Kanye on here.
Dude, that would be crazy.
I want to ask him like. You know.
The thing is, we would not get any words in edgewise. He would do all the talking. I'm pretty sure.
But is that a good thing? Yes.
Probably, yeah.
But also no, because our voices
I want to get to the point where like, no, that would be not the point that I would want to get to. Like Kanye is like just comes on our podcast because we're the only podcast that will let him talk.
I would love that. What are you talking about?
Like if that meant that he could be on, I'd be like, okay, that's whatever. Yeah, sure.
Every week.
every week.
The Kanye cast.
The Kanye cast. That's like our second podcast.
Yeah.
Part like me and Zach are on, but we're sort of just like there to.
We're like, all right, go ahead, and then we just go take a nap.
3, 2, 1, start.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
He's just like.
I actually really like Kanye though, like his music.
I think he's the most interesting celebrity out there.
Yes, he has a very interesting arc.
But the thing is, like, his arc is so opposite of what he was, and then like I feel he's gonna change. Like he's gonna change more.
Yes, it's not over. It's
and he like
not
peed
over.
on his Grammy.
Yeah, that was interesting.
He's just so interesting, and
Well,
he's like married to a girl that he has no beliefs. Like they don't share any.
Well,
beliefs.
I think there's
Tension.
definitely some tension there. and
No, there
there's-
is, yeah.
There's definitely lots of talks about divorce.
Oh,
But-
now
yeah,
really?
Yeah, but it's all sort of rumors. You know how those.
They have
tabloid-
kids.
The Kardashians are the most tabloided group of individuals on the planet. Like nobody gossips more about anyone than the Kardashians, because that's why they're
politicians.
famous. No, I would argue the Kardashians even
Really?
more than politicians. Yeah,
That's
Like,
crazy.
that's literally why they're famous, so people can gossip about them. I think.
I would hate that.
I know it doesn't sound like a great life to
It's
me.
not a
but
good quality of life.
No,
That's a waste,
but
actually.
but Kanye definitely has sort of changed his ideology and beliefs. I think from
I don't know. It appears
when he started, when he was first in a relationship with Kim. So who knows?
He definitely changed, whether or not it's real or not. You know,
He changed somehow. Whether
Yeah.
like I don't know what direction he changed in exactly, but he
like
changed.
because he definitely still like thinks highly of himself. You know.
Yeah, yeah, he definitely does.
I mean, we all do. So
yeah.
sometimes.
I mean, it's sort of hard because he does understand he's super talented, which I don't think anyone's disagreeing with. But like, it doesn't give you the
Like
right.
say it, don't spray it.
It does. Yeah, it doesn't give you the right to be like completely egocentric though. So
Yeah,
sort of a
but
or egocentric at all.
yeah, and maybe that
Even if
applies
you're
to us, but
talented.
probably not because we're so great.
Yeah, and we have a podcast because we're really smart and we know a lot about movies. So
Yeah.
I mean, everyone knows that, obviously.
Yeah. Did you know that? Never mind. I was
Yeah.
about to make a Geico line, but we don't like Geico.
We don't like Geico because we only deal in Hedman Anglin insurance.
Yes.
So make sure you call them. All right, next movie. I don't know what we're doing next.
I mean, we might as well not like announce it anymore because we haven't done that since like the first couple.
Yeah, because we never do. I'm like that. Like sometimes I used to like make lists of like I'm gonna watch this movie, then I'm gonna watch this movie, then I watch it. I never followed the list.
Ben's
so
gonna be that dad one day that plans every minute of vacation and doesn't give his family a rest.
That's true. That could happen. We're going to this amusement park, and we're gonna ride these rides in this order because
That's what my dad does. He plans every minute.
That's the way that you do that. You get through the park in the fastest, so you can ride the most rides and get the maximum amount of money per ride deal.
Ratio, yeah.
Yeah, and there's definitely amusement parks because I love roller coasters.
Listen to
Okay.
the last Outside the Vault for more information. All right, with
and,
that, Ben.
at the Movie Vault Pod on Instagram, at Movie Vault Pod on Twitter, the Movie Vault Pod at gmail.com for email. And I think that's pretty much it. So, time to close the vault.
Ben, you close it this time. It is
Okay.
time for us to close the vault.
Spring loaded this time.
Chick-fil-A?